Hello, welcome back to another video, and I have got some exciting news. Well, not me personally, but FM24 have released some new information. So let's take a look at it. Right, so the first heading of the new in FM24 feature is it. I have just to say I have not read this, so I'm literally going to read it all along with some of my other thoughts. So first headline is introducing intermediaries and offloading players. No idea what intermediaries is, but I'm guessing we're going to find out in this little post. Strangely, there isn't a video. There's usually like a video with each announcement, but maybe there'll be like a video soon. I don't know. So, introducing intermediaries. Whether you sign a world-class wonderkids looking to offload players that no longer make the grade, or anything in between, squad building is integral to every football manager career. You're telling me that? Definitely is. We've heard your feedback in recent years that selling players can prove a frustrating experience. Definitely is frustrating, especially when you try all transfer window, just selling like one player, then no clubs come in for them. Definitely can be like a lot really frustrated. As it often is for many clubs and players during every transfer window. With that in mind, our team considered what extra tools could we have in FM24 for players and AI managers to help with this aspect of the game. As with so many areas of Football Manager, we learned on our industry access to better understand how clubs look to solve the problem of uploading players in the professional game and then applied that insight to our game world. So, by the looks of it, it sounds like it's going to be a lot more realistic to real life. I guess intermediaries is like a new job role, I think. Right, next headline is using agents for better transfer market insight. I mean, that's literally real life. I mean, most football clubs do go to agents to ask for players. In an attempt to give you better clarity of how much you can get for your players when trying to sell them, we've added a ask agent about market interest. Oh, that sounds snazzy. Option to the transfer drop down on player profiles. Selecting this takes you through to a quick chat with the player's agent. As manager, you have 3 response options that each carry a different one. Desperate demonstrates a real urgency to moving the player on, while keen indicates that you'd be interested in selling, but only at the right price. Curious is there if you're just exploring your options. Okay, that sounds good. At least it's not just me trying to sell the player; it's the agent as well. So that's kind of good. That picking one of the options will trigger your interest in selling the player. If they're happy to move, the agent will let you know the player's current market value and the club's most interested in their services. That's kind of handy. It really is. However, if your intention to sell catches the player by surprise and they don't want to leave, the agent will refuse to engage in attempts to sell them, and you may need to go over their heads, whatever that means. I completely don't know what that means. Be careful, though, because as with everything in Football Manager, your actions will have consequences. I guess if a player doesn't want to go, you're gonna have a very, very grumpy player on your hand, and no manager wants that. After your initial response, you will have the choice of asking the agent to proceed and begin sourcing the move, or you can reconsider your options if you're not happy with the potential price or the club's rumoured interest. If your player is happy to leave, but there are no takers, the agent will explain why. So, taking the pressure off the manager, that's good. Following your conversation with the agent, the price tag on the player's profile will update to reflect the market value discussed. This new value initially displays in a different colour and will remain active on the player's profile until it expires. This period of time varies based on where you are in the season, in or out of the transfer window, or during transfer deadline day, and so on. It's important to note, while this new functionality will give you better clarity on potential fees for the players you want to sell, it doesn't guarantee you a sale every time. I mean, yeah, that's pretty obvious, that is. So by the looks of it, we've got like a little sneak peek of what the new transfer budget, like the value will be like. So it looks like it's like sort of a orangey colour. I think. I can't really see that well. We have also made some upgrades to the Ask Agent About Availability quick chat, first introduced in FM22 to help. I've never actually. Oh yeah, I've used that button quite at least a few times. I haven't really clicked it that much to help with trying to buy a new player. Now, minimum fee release clauses and expected contract lengths are included in the player's bullet point lists of demands. You can also contest some of these items, either working with the agent to seek a move for a more favourable release clause, or asking for all demands to remain up for discussion until you have entered formal negotiations. The next headline is Evolve your squad with new intermediaries. If you want to sell one of your players but their agent isn't cooperating, or the offers don't meet your expectations, you can now hire an intermediary to help facilitate a sale. Okay, that's nice. I still don't know what it is. Intermediaries. No, not intermediaries. That's going to be a very hard word to pronounce. Are brokers recruited by your director of football that can help generate new interest in a player and assist with securing a move for a percentage of the final transfer fee. So basically, what I'm getting is intermediaries help you sell the player, then a percentage of the transfer fee goes to the intermediaries. I think that's how it works. The interest they are able to source is determined by a few factors, including their reach and ability as an agent. Their scope is a measure of the geographical location they operate in. For example, an intermediary with continental European reach would bring in interest from appropriate clubs in their region. Their ability will help determine how much interest and what sale value they can find for your player. The commission is capped at a maximum of 10% of the overall transfer fee, just as it is in the professional game. This cost is shown throughout the process, right from the initial inbox item indicating that a bid has been received, right through the transfer completion news item. Assessing your intermediary options is key. While the commission they charge is based on their reach and ability, someone better known but lesser skilled may well end up charging more than a higher skilled but less well connected person. Another factor is the length of time they spend gathering offers. High ability intermediaries will find offers more quickly, but understandably their cost is higher. I get that, yeah. During the busiest transfer periods of the season, such as deadline day, this time is reduced, and that could mean some lower ability intermediaries may be entirely unable to complete their work. To use an intermediary, head to the transfer drop-down on your player's profile and click the Hire an Intermediary to Sell Player button. Okay, it's a new button. I'll definitely have to check that one out when the FM24 beta comes out. We might not have to use it. If the player's agent didn't want to help you sell the player in the process due to their player not wanting to leave, going over the head to an intermediary can risk the player becoming unhappy and disrupting the dressing room. I mean, if a player doesn't want to leave, I'm not really I'm not gonna sell him. I'm not ain't gonna make them unhappy because nobody wants a unhappy player. Conversely, though, it can also bring you sale options that the player's own agent wouldn't have even considered as being possible, as an intermediary may have better connections. If you choose to hire an intermediary and they're unable to find interest in one of your players, you'll receive a quick chat pop up from a relevant staff member displaying which intermediaries are offering their services, a preview of what they expect to provide for how much. At this stage, the intermediary will give you enough information to make an informed decision without revealing too much. Sounds intriguing. Once you have reviewed what each intermediary is offering, you can choose which suits you best and ask them to return with specific offers once the associated period of time has elapsed. Your selected intermediary will return with the promised bids that you are free to accept, negotiate, or reject as you see fit. Okay, that's not bad. You get a list of them, then you can choose which one they want, and okay, that's not bad. It still doesn't make a lot of sense at the moment, but I expect when the game comes out, it'll get a little bit easier to understand. If none of the clubs the intermediaries identify as interested with for your player, their reasoning will be explained. The intermediary will also let you know if they're unable to source any interest at all. You can try again later if this is the case and will be prompted to do so after an appropriate amount of time. If you receive no offers but are still desperate to sell the player, there is an option to offer out an ultimatum to all intermediaries instead of selecting just one. This ultimatum serves as a first come, first served system where all intermediaries will try to source a bid for your player and the first offer is the only offer. Okay. However, this does mean that you will be unable to select a specific intermediary and will be unaware of the associated percentage fee upfront. If after a month you have still received no offers for your player, the ultimatum will end. Should you cancel or reject the move sourced by a intermediary, both that intermediary and the associated club will be unlikely to make further offers for this player for a short period, so you'll need to think carefully. Ooh, I don't know. Have transfers got easier or harder? I think that look, reading this, it generally feels like they've actually got harder, but I'm sure it'll get easier as we progress further into FM24. Intermediaries can also work for other clubs, meaning that they will come to you directly for someone if someone else is looking to offload a player. In these instances, you will receive a scout report that includes agent feedback outlining a few expected financial details were you to pursue this deal. Right, on to the next headline. Offer out players via the transfer room. Oh, that's new again. Transfer room. As initially revealed in our post on the most recent development update, FM24 will see the first inclusion of our new partner transfer room. In FM24, the digital service replaces the previous offer to clubs option. I mean, that offer to clubs option was absolute hideous. It didn't really do much in game as a simple way to reach out to other clubs with players that you want to sell. This is not an instant option as the clubs won't all be online looking at the so it's like almost like a website. But yeah, but it is literally a bit like eBay. That's what I'm getting. Clubs are more likely to be using it at different points in the season and transfer window, so responses may come in more quickly at some times than others. So you're going to get a response quicker in the transfer window than outside it. That's what I'm guessing. Something to note that using the intermediary automated functionality outlined above doesn't preclude you from offering a player out via the transfer window, so you can do both at the same time if you want to. This is just the start of Transfer Room's integration into Football Manager, with much more to come in the future. That's decent. Bringing your transfer tools together, upgrading the existing agents functionality and introducing intermediaries has led us to make a few changes to the transfer status screen. Clubs consider a move from one of your players who will now be classed as having active interest or rumoured interest rather than major or minor. You'll also now see a contextual reason for a club's interest. So, for example, if you're, I presume that's if your player, they got a little bit of grammatical error. Um, if your player was not a club's first choice target in a given position that would qualify as rumoured interest. Oh, right. Agent feedback is still included on this screen in the top right. I guess that's there. I don't know whether that would be. Agent's feedback is still included on the top right. If you've not already spoken to the player's agent about the potential sale, there'll be a discuss generated market interest button available. Alternative options allow you to hire an intermediary, offer via transfer room. Should those options have been exhausted without success due to the player not wanting to leave, the button will instead read persuade to leave. I mean, that's easier said than done. If a player doesn't want to leave, he's never going to leave, is he? In the bottom right, you'll see tabs indicating the player's transfer loan status that allow you to provide instructions to your director of football. If you click on the director of football instructions header, you'll be taken to either the unwanted list or development list, depending on whether you're viewing the transfer or loan tab respectively. The panel in the top right adapts with sale and transfer options depending on whether you're viewing the profile of a player you've loaned out, someone you've loaned out, or an opposition player. You'll notice too that these screens look a little different for MLS players. I mean, I'm never going to manage in the MLS. I'll be honest with you, because I don't really know how that league works yet. As they now have more contextual information, like the club they're contracted to, which club holds their rights, and who initially signed them to the league. Oh, sounds awfully confusing, that. And final headline: empowering you to shape your squad your way. In the introduction of intermediaries and enhanced functionality for pre-existing agents elevate the experience of selling players in FM24, giving you more real-world power tools than ever to work on your next rebuild project. Head over to our features roadmap to discover the wider new additions and improvements that we've made for FM24, the most complete edition in the series yet. Well, let's take a look at the features roadmap. So we did have smarter transfers released the other day, but I just didn't have the time to make a video about it. So, I'm just going to do a brief update on that. Basically, you can get a negative transfer budget. That's what I've learned from that. And if you break the rules on that, the board may sell players under you, which hopefully doesn't happen to me. So next week we will get individual player targets, and interaction logic. Then week commencing October the 2nd. Oh no. Oh no. I've gone way too far ahead. Then also week commencing September 25th. So all these three are next week. Yikes. There may be a couple of double upload days next week, I should think. We've read that one. So sometime next week we'll have truer football motion, match authenticity, and positional play. That sounds exciting. Then also next week, my God, next week's going to be a busy week. I'm sure there'll be like a video released out on YouTube. I'm sure of it. Then we've got set pieces refresh and coaches debut. I'm very excited about that because I'm not good at set pieces. It'd be good to have a set piece coach. Then week commences October the 2nd. More gameplay deep dives. I presume that'd be a video. I'm sure of it. Then week commences October the 9th. Quality of life upgrades. Whatever that means then. I presume on the beta will get released week commencing October the 16th. So, well, if you did enjoy today's video and you liked enjoying me read, because I gotta be honest with you, I'm terrible at reading. So, if you did enjoy today's video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more FM24 content, and thank you very much for watching.